Good evening. Give it a second and let whoever is trying to come on to come. And I am going to make sure that I can see this live on my computer. So for anyone that was trying to get on the event that I had posted, the 11/22/22 live energy healing, I ex-nayed that. I don't like the way that it comes live and it doesn't work for me. And hi Taiwan. Good evening. Okay. I have someone that's going to be joining me tonight. If you're just coming on, if you say hi in the comments, I can say hi back. Hi, Matt. Okay, I was just about to message you and tell you that this is where I was streaming from. So for anyone who was looking for this chat at the event, I'll post this link in the event so that it can still be seen from there. I am just not a fan of all of Facebook's protocols, so I am a fan of being a rebel and doing things in a more convenient way. Taiwan, I am fantastic. It's been an absolute great day. How are you? I see a few people coming on. If you say hi in the comments, I can say hi back. We'll give it just a little bit. Give people a chance to get on. Let's see. Yassine, hi. See if anyone else has said anything. Me as well, just sitting in my studio. Taiwan, fantastic. I can't wait to hear your music that you're working on. Okay. One of the things that we'll be doing on this live, as normal, is energy healing, light language, light codes, whatever wants to come through. I like to leave it majorly unscripted because whoever comes on often finds what they need. And I do have someone that's going to be joining me in just a few minutes, which I'm really excited about. I'll give it just a little bit. If you say hi in the comments, I can say hi back. And anyone who knows someone who is interested in spirituality, energy healing, light language, connection, support, finding a mentor for life, definitely share out. This is a fantastic place to find that. Okay. We've got a couple of people on, so Matt, if you're ready to come on, I will bring you in and we can chat about what wants to be chatted about. Okay, fantastic. I was attempting to play music before, like a couple of lives ago, but I noticed that whenever I try to play music, Facebook does not stream my videos, and it was like 200 countries or something. And that just did not sit well with me. So I don't play unless it's live. Like live music is completely different, but
You know,
unless
Facebook does this thing, and say so does YouTube, where any sort of music that you play, it will copyright strike you. And then when the playback happens, it literally just becomes this blank space in the netherworld. So you can barely hear somebody talking, but they literally just blank it out so that nobody hears the video. It's happened to me a few times too.
yeah.
Hi,
So hi everybody, this is Matt. He is
what's up?
just a great friend of mine. If you did okay, so I have to tell you
Yeah.
that I could only hear and see the conversation that you were talking about when Facebook does music striking. So if you were speaking before that, it's not on here.
No, that's how I actually entered
Okay.
was talking about Facebook music striking. It was the first thing that I said because that's what I heard you say. So
Okay.
what's up,
Fantastic.
everybody? Happy what, new moon in Sagittarius? Is that what it
Yeah.
is? Is that what we're doing?
It is
Happy,
absolutely new moon in Sagittarius.
can you feel it?
Yes. Um, so there's a few things that are coming up in my mind to speak about with the Sagittarius new moon.
Speak on
And
it.
yeah, so not only are new moons fantastic for manifesting, but this new moon in particular is about reaching goals the easy way and surrendering to allow whatever you don't want to deal with to be dealt with on your behalf, literally by the powers that be.
It's the opposite of what we've been going through for the past year because we've been
Yeah.
scrimping, saving, like clawing at everything, trying to figure out how to get our lives back on track. And
Yes.
the eclipse season that we just had, it became like all you could really do is backstroke through the eclipse season because it got so hard. And even though today there's a lot of energy that's kind of behind the door waiting to come out, it feels like a softer energy. It doesn't feel like it's ready to come out and pounce. It literally just feels like it's like a cat. It's gonna be like, okay, it's cool, everything's fine. What do you want to do? What do you want to do for the next year? If this is what you want to do, if this is where you want to be, let's find a way. Let's find a way to get you where you need to be.
Yeah. That is very true. And it is very laid back. Um, I can feel the adjustments in the energy that's happening and just in things that are happening in the lives of people that are close to me. There's a lot of people who are settling into completely brand new life paths that they had no idea was going to be happening 2 months ago, 6 months ago, what have you, and are
Yeah.
stepping into just completely brand new things that was not even a thought. But it is the answer to what we've been manifesting several months or even possibly like a year, couple of years back. It's just now starting to come through because we have been in a series of just like it's been a slap fest of retrogrades and eclipses and
Oh
like
my God, yeah.
all
It's been harsh. Like, okay, like the last couple months has been so incredibly harsh, and it's not meant to be harsh as in like, oh, you don't deserve this. It's meant to be harsh because there's a lot of us that are living an old way of doing things, and we've been living this way for so long, and we keep thinking like, oh, maybe I'll do something new or I'll try something new, but we get into this uh feeling of, well, I feel good where I'm at. I feel okay where I'm at. But the universe is like, no, you shouldn't be. You should not feel comfortable. Comfort does not get you exactly what you've been wanting for the last couple of years. Why are you reverting back to comfort? So now, like, after a while of like, all right, things are changing. Now this new moon comes along. It's like, don't you want adventure? Don't you want happiness? Don't you want everything that you said that you were gonna do over the past couple of years? Because we want this for you. The universe wants this for you. God wants this for you. And if you don't want it for yourself, you have to really take a moment and step back and go, well, why don't I want this? I said I wanted to work hard. I said this is the only thing that I wanted. Now why am I sitting here and going, is it really what I want? But it's also still a really good way to understand how things have changed, because maybe what we wanted 3 years ago, we've changed so much that how we're going to manifest it is supposed to change. So just changes in
yeah,
general, you know?
100%. And like um I'm gonna touch on something you said for a second. Power up, haha, Emery. You are right about this fire energy ready to just explode. LOL. Okay,
Yeah.
so truth, 100% true. There's so many things. That's what this whole entire last couple of years have been, is bringing stuff to the surface that is not supposed to go into the new life, the new earth, the new paradigm, everything that we've been creating. And one of the things that I personally have been noticing is the release and the awareness of self-sabotaging behaviors. And
Let's talk about self-sabotage for a moment, because
right?
it's true. It's so true. Like when I was talking earlier about like this is stuff that you've wanted for forever, we've gotten to a point where now, over the past couple of years, we've had to deal with these self-sabotaging behavior. And even now, when we're sitting in this, like we see what we really want to do. What is the behavior that's allowing us to move forward versus what's the behavior that's keeping us back? Like there's still so much that's coming up to the surface. And it's like, it's not that it's trying to get you to stop or turn around. It's getting you to understand how to reevaluate this behavior that's been totally screwing you up for the past couple of years. You can't keep moving forward thinking, oh, yeah, I'll deal with it, everything will be fine, everything's good. No, you're still gonna screw yourself up by taking a wrong turn or allowing yourself to believe, oh, I can wait till tomorrow to do something. I can be okay without asking for help, or I can be okay on my own. There's no more of this, I'll do it myself. You have to take the help when needed. You have to understand that self-sabotage is really a thing, and it's what's been keeping us all from finding who we truly are.
Completely agree. And I mean, you are not going to be able to make an alteration to the habits and patterns that you are continuing if you're not brutally made aware of them. Because what happens is sometimes our psyche will receive gentle notifications and sweet notes, and we will lightly be reminded that
Lightly.
something needs to change. But that is never whenever we will take action. For
Right.
me personally, literally, to make the changes that changed my life, it had to be so incredibly abrupt and obnoxious and gigantic, and it literally had to rock my whole entire
Hmm.
world for me to
Yeah.
make the changes that are seen today, like the changes that can be seen in my actions and the way that I carry myself and my mannerisms and my health and the way I eat and the way I converse with people and how I handle business. Like all of that is a result
Yeah.
of all of the crumb that I went through to change
Can
life.
I, yeah, can I tell you a personal story right quick? And this
Absolutely.
happened yesterday, and I realized that it's happening at the right time. Um,
It always.
I, it, it does. I have, I've personally had, I'll call it family issues. It's mother issues for most of my entire life. I'm 42 years old. I've had these issues for at least 40 something years, and it's taken me forever. I've gone through every single emotion available besides acceptance. I've
Yeah.
gone through bargaining, I've gone through anger, I've gone through so much anger any given time. And I finally got to this point last year where I'm like, I've hated this woman my whole entire life. I've just hated her, had so much energy and animosity toward her. And last year was the time where I'm like, I've never showed her love. Maybe that's what I should do. And a few more little speed bumps, but I called her yesterday and we ended up just talking. We talked for about 45 minutes, and she's like, I have to tell you something. I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on? Like, I just felt like, and I called her because I felt like I needed to call her to check in. Um, and we talked, and she said, I've been going through something for the past 40 something years, and I need to tell you. I'm like, okay. She's like, I keep going through, what did I do wrong to make you hate me the way you did? What personally did I do wrong? She's like, and I've gone through it so many days, so many nights. She's like, I haven't been able to sleep for years because I will lay awake at night wondering what I could have done differently to make you love me as a son. And it was profound. It was really profound. And I had to be honest with her, like, and I was trying to have this conversation, just allow it to happen. I'm like, I had to tell him, like, I have never, unfortunately, I've never felt love from you. I've never felt the love that I needed from you, and that's how things worked their way out. I felt fear and I felt anger, and there was nothing. All that made things happen the way that they did. Like, I understand how you feel. I understand that you tried your best, and I understand that, I wish things could have been different. But with the amount of anger and fear that you pushed onto me, there was no love. There was no, like, I love you. She's like, but I do love you. I'm like, I get that. You can say that you love me, and I believe it. But as a child, when you push onto your son fear and abandonment and worry and all this other stuff, it doesn't come across as love. It literally just comes across as like, I everything that I'm going through, I want you to go through with me. Like, I
Yeah.
want you to be my buddy, so we don't have to deal with it. And for the first time in my life, like, I was just like, oh wow, like, okay, she understands. Like, she really understands. So she went through all this, and 40 years later, she's like, I'm sorry. And I actually sent her a before we left, I'm like, before we ended up getting off the phone, I'm like, I've treated you like crap for 40 something years. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for treating you so badly, but it's a culmination of everything that I've gone through, that you've gone through, and I don't want to do that anymore. I haven't wanted to do that for years, and I want to treat you with respect, but I want you to understand that there are boundaries that I put up, and that's going to take a long while. I'm like, I'm not going to change overnight. I'm not going to I It took me 40 years to get to this point of, okay, you're not a bad person, but just because I know you're not a bad person does not mean that I can literally just about face and be like, Mom, I love you. I love you with all my heart.
Yes.
Right, right. There's still stuff going on there. So,
Yeah. But that's how, I mean, in order to even be able to accept the things that we went through from a non-biased standpoint, like from the
yeah,
standpoint that's, like this, it's not what they did to me, or it's not, who they whatever, because they is gonna, every single possible thing that we go through could be a they or a them.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
up to us to recognize within ourselves what it is that we were experiencing in what was happening. And yes, the mother wound is huge with
oh,
so many people, so many
yeah,
people.
yeah,
And it's definitely something that a lot of people don't talk about, especially in front of other people, because what normally happens is you get one person who is ready to let go and
mm-hmm,
understand and reconcile and forgive, and the other person has just simply not made it there, and they're still seeing things from whatever point of view it is that they were seeing them, which is
right,
normally, a damaged perspective, or, like something
right,
happened to me and I'm mad about it. And you, like, the only way that you can even come to the point where you can have those conversations out loud is to realize within yourself, like,
yeah.
if it's a lack of love that you received, you have to start giving that to yourself, and then that makes all the rest of the gunk come out of the bottom so that you
Well,
can actually get to it.
yeah, and there's a lot of unfortunately from then until now, and a lot of people are feeling it. It's not an understanding of like what's truly inside of us. It's a, I'm hurt and I want this person to hurt as much as I do, or it's me versus them, us versus them, which is all that we go to. And with men, we are designed to not not talk. We're not access our emotions, not access what's in our heart. So, as I went through all this, I have been told very many times through many other people going, you don't realize how many people are in their 60s, 70s, 80s who will never get as far or never understand what's truly bothering them. Like, you at least understand this, and it still may take you a while, but there are so many men. We're not even talking about like boys and girls, just men in general that are in their 50s and 60s who will take this wound to the grave because they don't know what it truly is, and they can't relate to somebody else of the fairer sex because they're stuck on this anger, this animosity, this hurt inside their heart that they can't express because they were never told it was okay to talk about it. And then you get people that are like, I don't want to talk about like what's going on. I don't want to talk about the icky stuff. I don't want to talk about like what happened to me as a child because that just makes me weak. But does it really make you weak, or does it make you strong that you're accessing this stuff? We're accessing what has really been our detriment from day one, and allowing ourselves to heal by letting it go. And the big thing is like, I'm not saying more men should do this, but we're getting to a point where there is no choice anymore, where we are not going to have a choice. You either become heart-centered, you access your heart, you understand your traumas, you understand how to accept other people's love and give love from your heart, or you don't. You fall away. You become a person that nobody can understand, because you're accessing trauma 24/7. All you're doing is feeling angry, feeling hurt, feeling and expressing that to everybody, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to hear that you want other people to hurt. They don't want to stand by you and have you hurt them all over the place. It gets hard.
That's 100%. I'm gonna read the comments real quick. So
Yeah.
Edgar was loving what you were saying. He was sending Edgar, thank you for interacting, because when we're talking about certain things
Yeah.
and whoever it is hitting the love button or the like button, that lets us know that what we're speaking about is hitting home for somebody, and that you needed to hear this, which is actually there's a few comments that came in while we were talking. So Edgar said, "You're the best."
We're both the best. We're awesome.
We are. Well, that's why, okay, so Matt and I have the most fantastic conversations about life. Matt is one of the mentors on Healing Humanity Global, and this is why. It's because if there's people in this world whose opinions I relate with and I honor and I would trust, and Matt is one of them. So Matt, welcome, Matt.
Thank you. I do what I
um,
can. It took
right?
it took me it took me a while to even get to here, to even
Yeah.
not even here, but it took me a while to even get to a point where I'm like, oh, I have an issue. It's
Yeah.
has nothing to do with this other person. As much as I want to put it on this person, she's the one who did all this to me. I'm the one who's looking at it a different way. I'm the one who's looking at all this hurt and pain and internalizing it and saying, "No, you're my issue. You're my issue. You're the person. You're the reason for why I'm like this." Instead of, "Oh, okay, maybe I should understand her. Maybe I should give love. Maybe I should realize that it's not necessarily her fault because she didn't understand it." And as men, we all have this mother wound, and we all have this opportunity to go, okay, I want to understand why things happen, and why my relationships either are or aren't working out, and why I'm getting so icky. But we always just say, oh, my mom screwed me up. Okay, well, there's your opportunity. You know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's really time to take a look at what exactly screwed you up. Where did it happen? Why did it happen? And don't use that as an excuse of like, I can't love, or I can't do anything anymore. Use that as a vantage point to say, I need to look at this. I need to look at my programming. My programming was screwed up. Okay. It doesn't mean, that you're consistently screwed up. It means that you can edit your programming, you can edit your thinking, you can edit the way you approach somebody new, a relationship, a love, and move from there. It doesn't mean that you're always just going to be like, I can't learn to love because something bad happened. Okay, start from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that brought up several points in my mind, but I want to
Yeah,
read
go
the
ahead.
comments that came through. So I can only see a few comments at a time on my computer until after the live is over. So if I
I
miss anybody's
see.
comments, I will go back, like I always go back through after the lives and comment or, respond or interact or whatever.
Right.
So Taiwan said, man, I feel this. I held my
Mm,
emotions in for too long. You aren't doing anything but harming the self, which is
true.
100%. Literally, you're just
True.
creating more blockages on top of blockages on top of
Oh,
blockages.
definitely. Definitely.
Yes. And it's okay. What happened to you was not, everybody is meant to go through certain things for certain reasons because that's how we
Yeah.
elevate and evolve.
But even if it was something that you feel you shouldn't have had to go through, or something happened to you at the hand of another person, it's still your responsibility to
Yes.
heal
Yeah.
whatever it is that came from that. Whatever internal damage and whatever trauma, whatever viewpoint and perspective you have from what happened to you, is your responsibility to transform and turn into something that you can use in a positive way. Like, for
Right.
example, us using all of the crap that happened to us in our lives to mentor and help other people.
Right.
We've got another one. Edgar says, thanks for trying to help people. Hey,
Hey, we try.
we do try. And this is literally, I firmly believe that if you have a powerful experience, that what else are you doing with the experience that you have if you're not helping other people with
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what else is
and
it
here's
for?
and here's the thing. Like, there's so many of us that, like, we know something's going on. We know something's wrong, but we just want to pass the buck. We want to say, well, it's somebody else's problem, and I'm like this because of some unforeseen force in the world, and I can't change. That's not.
Yeah,
That's kind of acceptance, but it's still saying, like, oh, I'm not willing to change. The moment you understand, like, okay, this is my programming. And just like any program, look at Elon Musk, look at Twitter, just like any program, it can be edited, it can be changed, it can be looked at, it can be revamped. So just because you're like something or something happened as a child, that programming follows you, edits, updates, and relaunches. So even
yeah,
as like a 40-year-old adult or 50-year-old adult, you have the opportunity to look at that programming and say, this why I am looking at life a different way? How do I edit my programming? How do I go back and really just understand where this trauma comes from so I can bring it up, access it, let it go, edit my programming, and finally love myself, allow other people to love me, and allow this trauma to not be such a huge part of my life. The problem is too that a lot of people like this trauma. They love
yeah,
having this trauma around, like, this trauma is part of me, and I'll never be able to love anybody because of this trauma of this something, and they wear it like a badge of honor, which kind of sucks.
yeah. Well, I'm going to say something real quick, because
Yeah.
people are attached to trauma because it's
Oh,
familiar.
definitely.
It's easier
Yes.
to relive the same thing over and over again than it is to step out of that vibration, out of that lane, and look at something you've never done before because you don't know what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, it's your
Um,
comfort zone too. Like, when you stick in
exactly.
your comfort zone, you don't have to move. It's, again,
Mhm.
it becomes somebody else's fault, or everything else revolves around you, and you just kind of we just kind of revert into our little cocoon and go, no, I'm not going to deal with this. It's your fault, and I'm going to go somewhere else where I don't have to worry about this. So,
Yep. 100%. Okay, I'm going to take a comment break. So
yep.
Edgar says, very, oh, very few women in my country dare to be that kind of help in front of the people on television. That's why
Mm.
she is the best. Aw, I am present in her programs and the help she gives to all our Hispanic brothers. So
Aw.
this is, thanks. That is so, I love that. Thank you for the appreciation. That is literally, like, that's why we're having this conversation live right now,
Yeah.
because Matt and I, like, we have conversations often. We have been doing healing work with each other for quite some time now, and not only just with us, but we have taught classes and done sessions and meditation and energy healing, and practicing new methods that we come up with and all this stuff. But when it's just us two, it only helps us two. So why
Yeah.
not bring it into the world for an opportunity for whoever it is that needs it, which obviously is everybody that is watching right now, and anyone who will get on the replay, because we are drawn to the things that we
Yeah.
need. That's just how the universe works.
So Taiwan just
um
made a really good comment. Indeed, I had a hard to let people love me, and definitely a lot better now. And the thing, and I kind of resonate with this because for a while, and even now, it's like somebody loves me or somebody wants to love me or like getting to know me. There's this point of which I'm like, oh, well, why does this person want to get to know me? Why do they want to love me? Like, is it because they want to use me? So the defenses come up. The defenses are there. It's like, okay, well, I don't know, and this is kind of uncomfortable, and but if it's true love, if it's just them trying to understand who you are, nobody's trying to use you. And even if we've had experiences before where we've been used or been hurt, if it's something new and you're trying something new, it's okay to let this person in. It's okay to understand that, like, if I'm allowing this person to love me and I let them in, they will not use it against me. And sometimes it's hard because it's just like, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to do this and I don't know. I want to just run away from all the hard stuff, but running away from the hard stuff and running from something good doesn't show that you've grown. It shows that actually shows where you need to work. So if at the moment, like, somebody's like, I like you, and you're like, I don't know, I can't be liked, there you go. There's your trauma.
Yes.
Like, there's exactly your trauma. That's where it is. Like, all right, so you have trouble liking yourself. You can't, and loving yourself, and you can't have anybody else love you. So then we just work from there. So
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna take an acknowledgement break.
yep.
KK, my beautiful friend KK, I love you so much.
Hi, KK.
Jesse, and if I miss anybody's comment, you can re-comment and we'll read it.
I can actually see the comments because I'm on.
I can see them for so much.
Yeah, I can see all
okay,
of them. So
okay, I'm gonna finish out well, I was gonna finish out Taiwan's comment. I couldn't. Okay. Travis says, I'm going through this. Yeah, I mean, there are so many people that are going through what we're talking about. Let's see. That's a lot. Goodness gracious. Let's see. Thank you for
Miguel.
talking about this. Have a great night, you two. Freddie. Caitlin, I love you too. I miss you. Ah, it's my boo.
Hi, boo.
Taiwan, LOL. Why they want to use me? Big one. That's why it was hard, and one reason I never let anyone in, but I am now open for it. Want my queen. But that is also because you are healing the things within your self that allowed you to keep trust issues, whatever else it is that made you feel like people were going to use you. And that does stem from actual experiences, because we go through that, especially when you have a big heart. I am in that boat also. Like, everybody who knows me, my heart is gigantic. But I have had to learn how to have boundaries and stand up for myself and recognize self-worth and not allow anyone to put their foot where it doesn't belong. And you have to do that in order to have a healthy relationship. And that healthy relationship first has to come from within yourself, because that is what all the other relationships in life will stem from. It doesn't matter who it is with. It doesn't matter if it's your parents, your children, your teachers, your mentors, your peers, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse. It does not matter. If you cannot maintain a healthy relationship within yourself, you won't have a healthy relationship with anyone, because that is where it comes from.
True. It all starts from here, from your heart. Like, if your heart isn't working right and you're not accessing your heart, then you're not going to let anybody else access your heart for you. It's all you. Like,
exactly.
The energy that you're giving off is what you're coming back in. So people talk a lot about, like, I keep finding the same people and they keep hurting me. That's because you're allowing the hurt. You're allowing people to hurt you because you're hurting yourself. Access what's going on there and let it go.
100%. Katrina, hi, beautiful. She says namaste.
Namaste.
KK said, now we're soul sisters. We are 100%. KK and I have been through some of the same similar experiences in life. So there's a lot of beautiful just connection there. I love you, KK. Taiwan said, yes, indeed. I definitely understand that. I have been connecting with it in my heart. Yeah, 100%. Because you know what? That the cute little aprons and the magnets and stuff that say it all starts with heart and all that jazz, it's
Yeah.
true. It's
Yeah.
100% true. I didn't start healing anything until I started digging into my heart, and that's where I found the most damage. And the most
Kurt,
hurt was,
right.
huh?
Kurt, I hate to think all the betrayals were to teach me self-love. They were. It's Kurt, it's not to teach you self-love. It's to teach you why you can't love yourself. They're kind of two different things. But if you're not accessing your heart, if you're not loving yourself, what makes you think that anybody else is going to love you? You can't have somebody, you can't like not love yourself. You can't just hate yourself and then say, "Oh, well, I don't have to do the work. I can let somebody else do it," because the person that's going to come in and do it has an ulterior motive anyway, right? So they're just going to either look for money, love, sex, but not fully. They're just going to do outwardly, and they're going to use you and then use up. They're going to become like an emotional interloper, just use up what they can and then leave. And then you're left there going, well, there's another one bites the dust. What did I do wrong? It's not that you did anything wrong. I mean, and I don't want people to look at like, well, I did something wrong to myself. No, you just didn't access the right feeling. You haven't accessed your heart. You haven't accessed what you need, that's blocking emotional stability for yourself.
Yeah. There was something else that it passed, so it's not the
Sorry.
time anymore. No, it's good. Taiwan said the heart is more fragile than Windows. Yeah, that's how it is. Let's see, who else? I think I'm all caught up on comments, unless you can see any
Yeah.
map that I haven't touched on, or that you haven't touched on.
No. Everybody's been. Miguel's long comment, when dealing with our individual unique self to unlock chakras and move forward onto ascension path, and whatever method may have created to access the same source. Once you transmute the majority of your pain, what in both your opinions is the best way to confront the evil systems that have run the world for thousands of years now? The truth yearns to be set free, yet those in power block the truth at each and every step. One love.
Well, I can say that those particular cycles were set in place. Everything that we're experiencing now, imagine, like, the way that I like to use the metaphor for it
Yeah.
is, imagine trying to watch a movie 3/4 of the way in and you have no idea what's going on. You don't know the storyline. You don't know why Tom is mad at Sally. Like, you don't know what's going on because what needed to be understood in the first part of the movie was not understood. You didn't
Yeah.
experience it. You didn't go through it. Therefore, you don't have the knowledge of what you need to know to understand why the end of the movie is happening. That is the
Yes.
same with all of the cycles and all of the eclipses, all of the big stuff that's been happening for the last so long, years and years and years. It was all meant to happen, to restructure, to let go the gigantic things, the catastrophic things that have been happening, where there was thinning of the population. All of that was predicted hundreds of years ago by other people who are connected just like us. So we knew that this was going to happen. But in that same sense, there's also been indoctrination and lack of knowledge and unwillingness to believe in anything outside of what's right here, and
Right.
allowing yourself to just close your eyes to what's happening because you don't want to be part of it, and you don't want to have to do any internal work because it's hard and it hurts sometimes to heal.
Yeah.
That part hurts too.
That's why so many
But
people would rather not, and why so many people point fingers the other way and go, you're the reason why I'm this way. If I can pass it off and I don't have to do the actual work and I can pretend that it's somebody else's issue, then I'm safe. I don't have to look at what's really going on around me, what's really happening inside of me, and I don't have to have an emotional hurt or change or grow, and I can just like keep on, going through life with blinders on, going, but no, it's somebody else's fault, everybody else's fault but me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just a victim. And when we have this victim mentality, what happens is, we find other people with victim mentality and they're all happy together because it's not our fault, it's somebody else's fault, and we're just victims, and we don't have to worry about it. But once you get past that and realize that, oh, I this is my life, and I am not a victim. I am fully culpable of the stupid stuff that happened to me. Okay, let's access it. Let's figure out how to move past it and become a better person and work with the emotions and work with the pain and let it all go so I can help other people or move into a better relationship, not with other people, but with myself.
yeah, 100%. So I'm going to do acknowledgement
Yes.
break.
Yes.
KK, identifying your weaknesses and figuring out why is the start for healing. That's 100%. It's like any
Exactly.
program that you've ever heard of in your entire life. 12-step, NA, AA, anger management, everything.
Yeah.
The very
Yeah.
first step is to acknowledge you have something that needs to be resolved. Miguel, well said. All the love. Actively listening to the gentleman.
Who are you calling a gentleman?
You. This is Matt. Kurt says we've been looping ancestrally until now to break the cycle. That's
Yeah.
100%. That is 100%. The way that we grew up has not only created the programming for now, like for who we were, but it also set and instilled in us a refusal to continue
Yeah.
with what we grew up in, what we were presented, what was presented to us. Because I, for one, the way that I was living made me so sick. I almost died several times from real illness. And it had to get to that point where I was repeating things I didn't even know were part of my genealogy
Yeah.
until I had to dig in and recognize why I was so sick is because there are things in our blood, in our DNA, that carries down through the generations. So it's up to us. It doesn't matter. We can blame anybody all we want, but that's
Yeah.
not going to fix it. It's not going to stop it.
And
It's
the
going to
and the
keep
one
going unless we take control of it.
Yeah, and the one thing that we all have to understand is the looping. We talk about looping. Your life will just continue restarting over and over and over again. The same thing will start happening to you until you face it. And people wonder why, like, why does the same thing happen? Why do I get a little bit of an inch and then something bad happens? Well, because you haven't passed that pain, that issue that you're supposed to deal with. So you're always going to be stuck at the start. You're always going to be meeting the same type of people that are mirroring back to you what your true issue is. And it's going to hurt, and it's going to continue to hurt until you actually do something to it. And for some people who are really spiritually in tune, your life will just stop for a second. Like nothing will be able to move forward until you access what's really going on. Like it's happened to me a couple times where I knew I needed to get help, and I got therapy, but things in my life kind of stalled out until I said, okay, I'm going to make an appointment to get therapy. I'm going to talk about what's going on. And then a week later, like things slowly started to move up. But until you access the root and access why things are going on, you're just going to keep running around a track. It's going to be like NASCAR, just left turn. You're going to end up back at the start no matter what happens, no matter what you do.
Absolutely. I missed the comments from, I don't know, I can't see who it was, but somebody thanked us for our wise responses. I couldn't see who. Miguel, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you kindly for both of your heartfelt, wise responses. Caitlin, change isn't fun, but it doesn't happen overnight. It's years of rewiring and consistency, programming.
Yep.
Katrina, also realizing that these aspects are part of you. Once you accept that all of that, once you accept all that, you are.
Once you
It
accept
is
all that you
easier to
are.
transform. Yeah.
That's
Word's hard.
all of that 100% true.
Yeah.
Kurt says different vessels, same energy. That is
Yeah.
true. I have experienced that firsthand. Edgar is sending love and smiles. Katrina sending lots of love.
Thank you guys.
Exactly.
Ladies and
Big
gentlemen.
God, and take it back. Okay, so there's one thing that came back around to my mind from a conversation we were having just a bit ago. Is this is where the separation comes in. Like everybody, the spiritual community for several years has been talking about New Earth.
Right.
And what it is it is a separation between the people who are elevating and evolving and allowing themselves to grow and heal from
Right.
all of the damage and the traumas that we have been living through for centuries upon centuries upon centuries, even longer. And the people who refuse to do that, it's a separation. And it when you heal and whenever you allow yourself to dig in internally, it literally changes the wiring of your brain. You have new neurologic pathways. Your DNA transforms. The literal blood in your body responds when you heal. The energy that you have on a regular basis increases. The viewpoint and perspective for which you see everything in life alters and uplifts. So healing is non-negotiable.
Right.
And that's what's happening. That's what New Earth is a separation between the healers and the people who refuse to.
And people are using this as an idea of like, oh, well, it's the left versus the right, or it's these people against these people. There are people on many different sides who understand what healing truly means. And once you understand that we're supposed to be heart based, we're supposed to be energetically based, and you actually access that, you're in a way better place. Like there's tons of people, and I know a ton of people who are like, oh, I wish I could do this, or I wish I could be intuitive. Everybody's intuitive. But then there's also people like, oh, I'm empathic, I feel special. There's nothing special about being empathic. Everybody's empathic, some more to a different degree. It's how you use it, right? You're all intuitive, you're all empathic, everybody watching. There is a way to really just access this heartfelt energy, use it to amp up healing, to amp up understanding, to amp up community. Like, we're at this point where we have to, it's not just us, one-on-one, it's community, learning how to live and work with community, learning how to barter with other people, learning how to help somebody else. Maybe that doesn't mean monetarily, maybe that means energetically or physically, or just, all like some people want is just a nice smile. Like you have, like, there's so many people that, they don't talk to people on a daily basis, and just somebody saying, have a good day, or smiling makes their day.
Yeah.
And that's energy. That is energy that we're talking about. And the more that we access this energy, the more that we access our heart and allow our heart to flow, and don't just think that that community or currency has to be monetary. The more that we just realize that energy needs to flow out of us and out of everybody else and become more community, the more we're in a better place
Yeah.
emotionally.
100%. And there's a stigma. Like there's a stigma because not everybody is, aware, not everybody is awake, not everybody
Right.
is allowing themselves to recognize what is. Because
Yeah.
we are all energetic beings. We all run on electricity. We all run on energy. Energy is transferable and absorbable. And to think that that is not real is just simply bypassing
Yeah.
and not allowing yourself to see things from a new perspective, because energy is not woo. There's no woo woo anything about energy.
Right.
Besides
Energy,
the
everything is energy. Yeah.
everything 100% is
Yeah.
at the baseline of existence. Scientifically, if you go into the a very 3D world and talk to people about what everything is made of or what everything runs on, it's energy. So
Hmm.
there's a stigma for people thinking, oh, I don't want to talk about this stuff because it means that I have to be spiritual, or it means that I have to be religious, or it means that I have to think a certain way, or I have
Yeah.
to speak a certain way, or I have to associate with certain people that agree with the way that they are. But it doesn't matter because I'm pretty sure it was you that either
Me.
was having the conversation or posted something that was like, you do not have to fit in a box to be a spiritual
Right.
person. Like,
Right.
spirituality is not in a box.
It's
I
not any
myself,
specific thing.
no, it's not. And I have done the wildest, most insane things you can think of in my spiritual practices. And then I have done the most boring, normal, uneventful
Right.
things that are the most powerful spiritual practices I have. Like
Well,
laying in my bed all day and meditating in
yeah.
stillness because it makes me feel good. And I get to sit and relieve myself of what's going on in the world. That's a
And
spiritual
yeah.
practice.
And we live, like, I live in Sedona, which is a spiritual mecca, but you can tell that a lot of the gurus and the spiritual people are fear based.
Yes.
They you know, and I'm not trying to like make myself something that I'm not, but Sedona, Arizona, and every spiritual mecca, you will know if you're accepted here by the city. It doesn't make a hill of beans if you're accepted by the people. The people don't matter. The city is the only thing that matters. If you have a place to live, if you can make your life here, then that's all that matters. There's so many people who are like, I'm accepted here and I feel the need to be here, but they can't find a place to live. They can't, like, but, and I'm not trying to make, again, not trying to make myself out to be like something special. I had a place before I moved here. I literally knew I was going to move here. I'm like, well, if I'm supposed to be here, then I'll find a place. I had a place 4 months before I decided to move here. I decided to move again, and I had another spot. And I don't know very many people in the city who have that luxury, but there's also, you'll go around and you'll meet people that are spiritual, but they're the ones that are like, oh, you have to think this way, you have to look this way, you have to do something specific. Me, I just trigger people into healing. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. I'm gonna like, that's just my healing property. I will make you as uncomfortable as humanly possible because it's how people heal. I want to challenge your point of view. I want to challenge how you view healing. I don't care about how you think or how you feel or what you eat or what you do or how many times you're gonna, look into the sun and sing kumbaya. I want you just to
Mhm.
understand that there are many different ways to think, but it is my purpose and my goal to trigger healing in people. And that's just how I do it.
Yeah. And they like when you're a healer, and that's a very broad range term. Who I
Oh, yeah.
consider to be a healer is someone who first takes it upon themselves to understand, recognize, and deliver healing within themselves, and then use that healing they did for themselves to
Yeah.
help other people. We ourselves do not heal another person. We ignite healing
Yeah.
in that person and for themselves. And even me, I like there's so many people who are like, you're so sweet, like, you're all of this stuff. Yes, yes, I'm very sweet. But you would be surprised at how much my method of healing and just who I am triggers people. And that is
Yeah.
because I have learned how to love myself unconditionally and forgive myself for everything that I've been through and for everything that I allowed, and all of these things. And what that does is whenever I am not afraid to be myself, people who are afraid to be themselves will become triggered. And when I'm
Yeah.
not afraid to express unconditional love to other people, whether I know them or not, that triggers people who have wounds in that area.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
many times in my life, it doesn't matter how kind you are. If you are meant to trigger someone, and if that person has a wound in the area that you are healed, you will at some point be a trigger for someone.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just how it works. And you have to be okay if you are going to mentor other people, and if you're going to be a pillar of support for other people, or if you are going to be someone who is speaking to other people. I'm a huge fan of knowing what you're talking about before you go and tell somebody else how to do it. That's one
Or
thing that I
living it.
noticed.
Right.
Exactly. That's one thing that I noticed with a lot of people who claim to be healers, which we find a lot of people who just do things for money, or they
Right.
just do things for clout, or they
They're
do things because
fear-based.
someone else is successful in it. Well,
Hmm.
I feel, not even I feel, I see a lot of regurgitation in certain communities, in
Yeah.
certain areas. And it's just a lot of people just recycling stuff that they heard from someone else that they saw, thought sounded good. Well, whenever you've done so much healing, it's almost as if you can taste the truth.
Yes.
You can taste it in the vibration that someone is putting off if they have actually done the work and dug within themselves to heal, or
Right.
if they're just telling you things that they heard from someone else. And that this is why I 100% handpick and watch. I lurk and I stalk every single person that I recommend to other people, because I'm picky. I'm picky with people. I'm picky with my own counsel.
Same.
People that I would take advice from. So I would never, ever, you know, regurgitate something for someone else, because that's no, it doesn't even feel right to
Right.
consider that.
And what's funny is like there's so many people, it's the same thing. There's so many people who'll be like, well, so and so says this, and if you read this book, they say this, and you're supposed to do this. Okay, do you have a thought in your own head about like what you think your
Yeah.
healing needs to look at? Because that's all that matters. And everybody, all the people in here and the people watching at home, I will admit this, you don't need anybody to heal you. If somebody says, come to me and I will heal you, they are lying out their ass. They are not
Yeah.
going to heal you. They're just going to take money. A true healer doesn't heal you. You can heal yourself. You have all the power in the world to access energy from God, from the universe, because we are of God, we are of the universe, we are energy, and energy is transferable. I can transfer energy to somebody else. Even if I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I'm going to be able to do it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. So you don't need to go to some shaman in way off Portugal. All you need to do, most healing can happen with meditation, a candle, and breath work. That's
That's
all it is.
100%. That's why it's called an awakening and not
Yeah.
a referral system. Okay. We've had this conversation. I don't want someone coming back to me for the same thing
Yeah,
over and
yeah,
over and over again. Because if you're
right.
coming back to me as a healer, as a mentor, as a business person, if you're
Hmm.
coming back to me for the same thing over and over again, that means
Right.
A, what I'm
I'm
doing
doing
is
it
not
wrong.
working,
Right,
or you're
right.
not listening and you're not doing the
I want,
work.
yeah, I want you to take what I'm giving you and go do it and go teach other people to do it. I don't want you coming back to me. I just want to give you all the tools and say goodbye. Go do something else. Go add to it. It's an open source program. Do what you need to do and rewrite your own code and
And
just enjoy. Have fun.
that's why there's a mentor board. That's why there's a mentor board for Healing Community Global, because not everyone is assigned to everyone. So I could give you gold, like my gold, the
Right.
things that just worked for me 100%, and I never had to look
Yeah.
back from them. And you will try it and it will not work for you because it's not your thing. But this person over here is your person, and they've got
Yeah.
everything that you need perfectly. That's why that's why
Yeah.
there's other people to refer to. 100%.
Yeah. Like you go with who you resonate with and there, I've gone through many different ways and it took me a while to realize like, oh, I can do this. I can do what I want to do. I'm still at that point where it's just like sometimes things work for me, sometimes things don't. But you walk around and there's people like, oh, I can heal you and I can do this. Like, and I have a referral board. Send me 5 people and I'll give you the next session for free. Really? As a healer, as a person, an energetic person, do you really want referrals? Like, are you really that hard up for cash and money? Because that's all it really matters. That you're gonna give somebody 20% off a healing session because they brought you 5 people. That's desperation in reality.
Yeah. Well, I'm a fan of, what you're meant to be doing is the thing that
Yeah,
you would do for free, even if you didn't get paid for it. That's a healer. That's
yeah,
that's somebody who is meant to be doing that. If you call them and you say, hey, this thing is bothering me and I don't know what to do about it, but I don't have any money to pay you for a session. Okay, well, this is advice. This is what I would do, person to
right,
person, human to
right,
human. Like, I want you to have a better experience. So I'm just going to tell you what I would do.
yeah,
That is a person who is meant to be doing that.
right.
Um, let's see.
Oh, we hold on.
So
Where
Katrina
did my mouse
is
go?
Ubering right now. She's sending lots of love just in case she doesn't see
Well,
us again.
much
I miss.
much love between Ubers, and hopefully your
Yeah.
night goes well. Caitlin said something about that's basically emotionally dumping. I don't know. I think she was talking about. She said that when we were talking about like a lot of like healing versus healers and stuff like that. And you know what? Here's the funny thing is we're on social media. We're there's a ton of social media, but the best healers that I have ever heard of are not on social media. They're word of mouth. You have to
Yep.
find them through another person, and they don't charge that much or any at all. They will be there for you when needed, and they will show you and tell you and be there with you know anytime that you need something. So it's like, all these people on social media are like, I'm so amazing and I do this, and so many people. Okay, well, show me. I'd rather go to the person that has never doesn't isn't even on social media, or doesn't even have to worry about it, and just lives in a shack in the woods. It's like hi. Here, take this stick and walk into the woods. Have fun.
Yeah. Here's some rocks. Go
Kurt
snuggle
Stack
them.
does not charge.
Kurt, I do not charge. Oh, Kurt. Hi. I went through. Kurt does light language, and I'm not sure what else. You can feel free to share, your stuff in the comments. But I went to Kurt's page, and Kurt does light language, and what I saw from my own mentality was sun codes and energy healing codes. So if anyone is interested in that, Kurt's stuff is beautiful. I love it.
Kurt, I'm following you and I'm adding you as a friend. Dude, oh my God. All right, he's got a photo here from 2021 that is just amazing. I'm impressed. I'm just impressed with it.
Fantastic.
I'm in love.
There's a topic that's been swirling around in my mind.
Yeah.
One of the things, whenever I embarked on my powerful healing journey, because about 5 years ago I started healing, from health issues because it was a necessity. But after I kind of started digging into that, I had what I call my big awakening, like the one that broke everything so that I could rebuild it. And I lost everything. And in that, in the rebuilding and the pulling myself up from the muck, I had to deal with survivor's guilt. And that is essentially when you're the one who makes it out. And you're the one who's telling everyone about all of this stuff that you've experienced and all this stuff that you've learned, and how healing is real, and changing your diet really works, or energy healing really helped me change my life and open up my body and my mentality and my perspective, and helped me feel better on a regular basis. That still to this day, not the survivor's guilt, because I no longer feel guilty for surviving.
You're here for a reason. That's why you're surviving. Never
100%.
feel guilty for being on this earth for
No,
a specific reason.
And the reason that I no longer feel guilty is because of stepping into that role, like recognizing and realizing that everything that we go through is for a purpose, and we can choose to use those experiences in a positive way that helps ourselves and others. And that's what I believe it's for. But there are times, like, especially if you are one of the people who is meant to teach, help, support, mentor, be in the spotlight for other people, you're going to encounter a lot of flack and a lot of obstacles and a lot of opposition from people. And that is literally part of the process. There's so much being released.
You're also gonna, and personally, I don't know about you, Kurt, but I know personally, like, I encounter a lot of obstacles for myself. Not even self-sabotage, but it's more like I don't believe I have the power to do stuff, or I second guess myself. Like, I'll go into readings and start telling myself, oh, you don't know what you're doing and blah blah blah, but then I'll have like the best reading or the best session, or really tune in with somebody that needs like words for a meditation, or a sound bath will be amazing. So we get to these places of, like, sometimes we just don't believe in ourselves, and then we feel guilty that, like, oh, I could have done more, I could have done better. But that comes with opening your heart and opening to the energy of the universe and opening to the divine, and it doesn't even, just because you believe in God does not mean that you have to be religious. God takes many forms. God is many things. The energy of God is enormous. And God versus little g God, but
that's 100%. So I don't, whenever you're somebody who is able to be there for others, you have secret experiences. Like, you have secret encounters with people that you don't ever tell anybody else about. So I don't name drop anyone, because everyone is entitled to their own experience, and I don't like to put people out there. But like, the other night, literally the other night, I was out with one of my friends that I go dancing with, and there was a man, and we were talking about alcoholism, because I used to drink a lot. That was one of the things that I had to overcome to get here.
Right.
And I told him, we were having a conversation, and I told him that I would pray for him. And he said, I don't know Jesus. And I said, well, you don't have to.
Right. Jesus Jesus has nothing to do with prayer.
Absolutely. No.
Right.
Jesus, Buddha, nobody has anything to do with having a positive thought for someone else, or for wanting to hold good space or healing space for someone, because that's what prayers are, is just holding or sending or expecting good things on the behalf of another person. And that
Yeah.
to me, whenever you break it down to a baseline science, it has nothing to do with religion or spirituality at all. It's just one person wanting to be supportive for another person when they're not around.
But the problem is that we break it down into, oh, you're going to pray for me. So what, and like prayer in a way turns into religion, and we don't start to think, we don't even stop to think that people are just trying to be nice. They're trying to do something out of the kindness of their heart, or give you energy, or give you time. Like, the best thing you can do for somebody is give them time. You're
Yeah,
taking time out of your day to just think about this person, hold them in your heart, and send them off, like, into a better space. That doesn't require God, that doesn't require Jesus, that just requires your own basic instinct and your ability to love yourself and love somebody else.
exactly. And it's so underestimated. Like, the power of kindness and the power of acknowledging another person is so
Yeah.
underestimated. Like, I have this metaphor that I love to use that came in my own brain, that it came in like a movie. Like, this, what if you saw a man who was just having a terrible day, and this was just the way that he lived because that was his mind state, and you were
Right.
the first and only person to show him unconditional kindness because that's who you are. And that day, that man felt so good by the way that you treated him. He decided to go on and do that with other people, and do that and treat every other person that he saw that day the way that you treated him. And then he felt so
Mm-hmm.
good by the end of the day that he woke up the next day and decided to do it again, and it became how he lived. And you just changed that person's life by simply being kind to him and acknowledging him so that he could view
Yeah.
life and have a different experience. Like, people, the power that we hold in the simplest acts is highly underestimated. You can change someone's entire life by the way that you treat them. And
But
it
the
goes
problem,
the other way too.
yeah, the
It's
problem
all in
is
how
that
you use it.
but we overthink a lot of things too. Like, there's just time at which, like, oh, I just want to do something nice for somebody, and then we stop ourselves. Like, but what if they take it differently? What if I do something wrong? Well, I would say that the mere fact that you're thinking, I want to do something nice out of the kindness of my own heart for somebody, don't overthink it. Just do it.
Yep.
There's one time that, like, I passed somebody on the street. I was in LA, passed somebody on the street. I'm like, I need to give her a hug. I don't know what it is, but, like, I also felt the need to ask her, not just, like, come up and, like, randomly hug her. So, so I went up to her. I'm like, hey, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, I feel like you need a hug. Can I give you a hug? She's like, no, leave me alone. I'm like, okay, fine. Dude, never mind. I walked away. I'm like, I'm glad I asked her, but she was either going through something or something was happening, because, like, there was oh boy, you know.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, but you become alerted to
Yeah.
certain things. Like, the more internal work that you do on yourself, the more you're able to recognize when another person is going through something you've been through, or when someone is hurting. Because, especially, like, it takes one to know one is real. So
Yes.
when you've been through, you know, internal struggles where you were going through something that you did not talk about to another person, and you've gone through to do the work and you've made it out the other side, you can recognize that in other people where
Hmm.
they really they're silently crying out for help energetically, and by the way that they are moving, and by the way that they are talking to people or presenting themselves or holding themselves back, you can see what another person needs, and
Yeah.
that itself is a superpower. Like allowing yourself to be a support for someone in whatever it is that they're going through is an underestimated superpower. I'm going to take a comment acknowledgement break.
Okay.
Kurt said, "Thank you. I appreciate love. Diamond Sun. Aww. Pay it
Yay.
forward. 100%. Yes. I fully would love for that to be a real movement."
Pay it forward. The
Yeah.
pay it forward movement. Just give people love, time, affection, an open ear. Like if all you do
Mhm.
is like, you know, the thing is people think, oh, I have to give somebody money. No, nobody ever said you have to
Yeah.
give money or time. Give a little piece of yourself. If like all you do is say, hey, have a good day. I wish you
Yeah.
the best day in the world and I'm thinking about you. That means so much to other people. That means
You
so
know,
much, especially, yeah.
there's so many tiny things that make such a huge difference. Like that's how you build and maintain healthy partnerships and friendships and relationships. Like they're even just appreciating someone for the things they do, or just for being a friend, or for, you know, whatever it is that you appreciate. I don't know how many text messages I have sent Matt where it's literally just like, I like,
Thinking
thank
of you.
you. Like
Right.
I
I
appreciate you.
appreciate you.
Yes,
Yeah.
like, that's what that's what you that's how you can change people's lives. That's how you can build friendships and relationships and partnerships with the simplest acts from your heart. And when you feel it, it's called inspired action, and it's a real thing. And it makes real change.
Well, even okay, so I have purple hair and it doesn't it's amazing. Um and it really like people in Sedona with coffee too. Yes, buying somebody coffee. I bought my girlfriend. I bought Nora coffee the yesterday. I'm like, I want to see you. I don't have a lot of time, but let's go to
Yeah.
Starbucks and like just chill for like. And so we talked for an hour, and that was all I really could do for the day. Um, but what's funny is like purple hair like lets people express themselves a little bit more and allows me to talk to people, and I get so much like happiness just like somebody saying, hey, I like your hair. Oh, thanks, cool. And we'll get into a conversation. I'll dap them and I'll be on my way. I'm like, that was a cool conversation. Like even if it was just hi or saying something nice or feeling somebody's energy, like that's all it really takes.
Yeah. Matt, people are just absolutely loving you. I think that we should do this again.
It's
I'm
it's
having
the it's the twinkly lights and the purple hair. That's pretty much what it is.
fun. um
Yeah, we could do this again. I love this. Love coffee. I'm about to go emerald green. Ooh, emerald green. See, I
I don't know
wanted
what
to
that
do a
is.
different
I'm
color.
not on that level.
Emerald emerald green hair. Like I tried to do a different color. I asked my aunt about it, and she's like, yeah, but you've been purple for like a year and a half. There's no way I can let you do another color. She's like, that's your calling card. And in reality, it is because that's how people know me. So,
I had the
ooh, green and
conversation.
purple. Hmm?
I had the conversation the other day about growing my hair out, like the bottom part, because it's getting kind
Yeah.
of long and I haven't cut it yet. And I just really don't feel like that is the right path for me to take. Because this is my signature hair. Like I have the short hair and the super long hair on top.
Right.
And that's it. Um, yeah, I don't think that I'm going to do
Just
it.
stick with what you know.
Yeah.
You are
Well,
you. You got the school marm look going on, and it makes people happy. And And
I
feel loved. So that's all that
Yes, I
matters.
do. The energy that I've grown into in this last year, just even in the last probably like 6 months, is very like nurturing and care, like giving energy. And I can't say exactly how many. I'm not gonna put people out there, but I have had several people in the last I like 6 months crying in my arms and me literally just
Oh.
mothering them. Yes,
Oh.
because that's what it's grown into. Like that's what that's what my energy has grown into. And it's a beautiful feeling to be able to provide a feeling of safety enough to unpack and allow your guards to drop and feel in the presence
Yeah.
of another person. Like, I'm grateful 100%. And all of that came from healing deep muck.
All the mud. All the mud and muck. Hey,
uh,
comment break. It
yes,
is good to know that there are people who motivate us to be better. Thanks for the programming. You're welcome, Edgar. And
Edgar,
then
yes.
Taiwan. I thought about growing out my fro again, but it's just too much. Dude, grow out your fro. Why not? Like, just do
I
you.
second that. Katrina said, "All the love on fire." I love
All the love on fire.
it. This is
Hmm.
fantastic. Yeah,
This has been fun. I've really enjoyed this.
me too. Me too. Um, I feel like this was just what it was meant to be.
Exactly.
Yep, just to chat about whatever is coming up.
Love and
Um,
energy and amazingness.
yeah. So there's I hear all sorts of stuff from if you type in what do I do on a new moon into Google, you're going to find 8 million different things to do. But I'm going to tell you what I do.
You go live with a friend and talk about opening up to love and emotion and coffee.
Yes, and coffee and purple and green hair and froze. So what I do literally is whatever I feel like doing. There's people who will tell you don't do manifestation rituals on a new moon or a full moon or a eclipse or whatever. And
Right,
there will people, there's people that will tell you, no, like you have to do this on this particular day.
right.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you what, the most powerful stuff that I have ever been through, the most powerful expansion, evolution, upgrades that I've ever been through has been listening to what's presented to me in the moment when I feel it and taking action on it. Sometimes that's sleeping all day long and not talking to anybody.
those are the best
Sometimes
days.
sometimes it's binge eating garbage. Sometimes it's taking a bath. Sometimes it's cooking food.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's watching YouTube all day long.
Oh,
Sometimes
yes.
it's sometimes it's
Yes.
calling. Sometimes it's calling somebody and just telling them what's on my mind. Sometimes it's posting things online and it just happens to be what someone needed to see or someone needed to hear or I needed to see and hear. And it had nothing to do with anything that somebody told me to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I am suggesting for the most powerful ritual that you can ever do is
Do what makes you
whatever.
happy.
Yes,
Like
whatever
people put
feels
right.
right.
People put too much stock into, oh, new moon, you have to turn around 3 times, put all your
Exactly. Yeah.
crystals out, blah, blah, blah. And then full moon is like, turn around the opposite way 3 times and say, rapper. No, like, who says that anything has to look a specific way? Just as spirituality looks many different ways to many different people, how you greet the new moon, how you greet the full moon, how you greet the maker and the universe and become one with God and yourself, it's all up to you. It's how you look at it. Same thing with meditation. Who says that you have to sit there for 3 hours and go, oh, I literally lay in my bed in the morning and listen to one of 14 meditations for 10 minutes. And I just lay there, mostly because I don't want to get up, but because I'm listening to something, and I just breathe. And we put too much stock into meditation has to look a certain way. Meditation has to be a certain way. Has to be like 10, 15 minutes. Meditation itself, as long as you are not doing anything and you are breathing and you are not worrying and you are calming the monkey mind for like 3 minutes, that's all it really is.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be anything too big.
When I first started, when I first started telling other people and teaching other people how to meditate, one of the first ways that I learned how
Yeah.
to become centered and grounded within myself, which is that's meditative. Like that's meditation in itself. Is I literally would say to get a candle and just stare at the candle. Whatever wants to come through,
Yeah.
allow it to come through, recognize it, think about it for a second because it's in there for a reason, and let it go and go back to staring at the candle. That simple act alone allows you to focus on what is happening in the present moment, which is what meditation, like that meditation in itself, do.
Right.
Is I literally
My meditation is listening to you twice for some odd reason.
Yeah, we're double meditating.
Good. Oh.
Let's see. Edgar sending love. Katrina sending love. Okay.
Sending love to everybody. Thank you very much.
Taiwan, indeed, here lately I've been guiding myself through meditation. And that whatever you feel is right is the best meditation for you.
Good.
I don't I don't really recommend gurus and stuff like that. I will, if something comes to mind or if there's something that I'm doing, I'll relay it and share it. But
Right.
really, like what you feel drawn to and what you're interested in is what's going to work best for you. Trying to do something that you don't want to do over and over again for a long period of time just causes frustration, and then I don't ever want to do it again.
Trying to force yourself to meditate is the worst way to actually meditate. Sometimes the best thing to do is like I will play some sort of music or a sleep meditation at night, and I will put it like as low down as humanly possible so I'm not listening to it, and just let it play through the night for like 3, 4, 5 hours. But if I wake up in the middle of the night and it's bothering me, then I have to turn it off.
True.
But it's like it allows you to just, and sometimes like astral travel stuff. Like there are times where I played that and I've gone someplace. But for the most part, it's just all about letting yourself go. It's letting your mind go where it needs to go, to relax, to breathe, because that's really what it is. It's just taking this time to let all the worry of the world go. And if you're sleeping during it, even better, because your worry is going to go someplace and it's not going to be in your head.
100%.
Oh, music and podcasts, yes.
Let's see.
There used to be something called the Shipping Report on the BBC, and one of my friends would listen to it every single night, and it was basically a weather report for the UK. And she swore by it. She's like, I will listen to it, and the guy had a good voice. And I listened to it one night, and I fell asleep. I'm like, I could see this. That's cool. It was like 45 minutes. It was like the best thing ever.
Right. I sometimes listen to high frequency music, but you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, the only routine that I have is changing things up. Like the only thing that I do every single day is breathe and be alive.
Yeah.
There is no routine at all. I have
Sometimes
tried.
a breath in, sometimes a breath out, maybe a whole breath
Sometimes
in.
I'll think about it.
Right.
I
Sometimes
used
I
to
have
be.
to forget. I forget that I need to breathe, and then I'll breathe in and out again, and just keep doing that.
I used
In
to
with the
be
good air, out with the bad.
so robotic and monotone. Like several years ago, like my life was completely different than it is now. And I was very business oriented and just very, like monochromatic mindset and had a list for everything and a schedule for everything, and everything had to be written down, and there were goals and meetings and all this stuff. And then last year I took a whole year off for myself to travel the country and let go of all of that. And it literally took that long for me to restructure. It's like, people are like, it takes 21 days to create a new habit.
Right.
Well, if you've been doing something your entire life, or if you've been doing something consecutively for so long, it's ingrained a little deeper than a 21-day restructure. So I
Something
particularly took a
consecutively for
whole year off, almost a whole year off from responsibilities.
Hey, you know what? Like, that's the
It
best
was
thing
the
to
best
do.
thing I ever did, because now it has given me opportunity and space to restructure the way that I want it, the way that feels good. I'm not forcing anything to happen. I'm not working against the grain. Sometimes I don't do anything at all, and things come to me. People want to come work with me, and things happen for me, and
Hmm.
money falls in my lap. And that is because I am in alignment, because I stopped trying to force things that are not meant to be
Right.
happening to happen.
Yeah.
And that's where we are meant to be, is in alignment, whatever that means for us. And it can be something different for every single person, like whatever your alignment is for you at the time that it is. But that's my biggest advice, is just allow whatever it is that feels good and whatever you're drawn to be a focal point for you, and see where it takes you. Sometimes it's just to learn something,
Yeah.
and then you let that thing go, and now you have the knowledge from it. Like, it doesn't have to be a habit for the rest of your life. You
Yeah.
can try stuff. You
And
can
if
pick
it
up a
doesn't
can
work,
and decide you don't
right.
like it and throw it back in the trash.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, who says that you have to keep doing it? If you find something that works for a little bit of time and then you decide and then it's not working, go do something else. Go find something else to do. Nobody says that you have to stick with something or a certain way forever. Our bodies, our cells are completely changed in our purview every 7 years. You're never going to do the same thing all day, every day, and continue to do it. In fact, if you're doing the same thing over for 7 years, there's something wrong.
Yeah, there.
I'm not trying to
That's
say there's
totally.
something wrong with people, but yeah, like what you should be changing, evolving, learning what really speaks to your soul every single day of the year. And if something isn't speaking to your soul, if something doesn't feel right, go do something else.
Yeah.
And we get all scared that, like, oh, it has to look a certain way. Again, we're back in this, everything has to look a certain way. Who says everything has to look a certain way? Your parents? Because look at our parents. None of our parents are happy, and they've been probably working the same job for 50 years. Look how happy they are. Everybody's miserable.
Yeah.
Yet the people of our generation are like, I'm going to change jobs every 2 or 3 years. Cool, that works. I've been with the same job I work a 9 to 5. I've been with the same job for 2 years. I'll stick with it because it pays me good and it gives me freedom. And that's the only thing I care about.
Yeah.
It pays me good, gives me freedom, allows me to do stuff like this almost full time.
Yeah. And there, like for me, there was a period of time where I didn't have anything at all. I realized, I didn't realize. So I was having a conversation with another friend, and he brought up that the monks used to take what is called a vow of poverty. And I was like, wow, because he was explaining, like I was, we were talking about experiences and stuff that we had, and I was explaining certain things that I'd done in my life, on purpose to allow myself to heal and allow myself to have these experiences and take stuff off my plate. And he told me that that's what the monks did. And it was called
Nice.
about poverty, like where you allow yourself not to worry about money, not worrying about bills, not worry about, worldly stuff like that, and allow yourself to just become a peaceful being that's not worried
Right.
about anything that's materialism, like no monies, no anything like that. And that's what I did when I did van life for a year, was I
Well, it's not
allowed
like,
myself,
yeah,
huh?
it's not like worrying really does anything
No,
anyway. Like, you worry about money, you have less money. You worry about material stuff, you have less material stuff. It's the universe just saying, really, you're gonna worry about shit that you already have? Like, no. Like, okay, or like your mom saying, oh, I'll give you something to cry about. The moment we worry about something, it's because we
yeah,
think we have a lack of it. There's no such thing as lack. We can create money. Money isn't energy, but we can create it, like out of the thin blue air. I
yeah,
create everything that I want. Everything I want comes to me. May not come to me tomorrow, but it'll come to me when I'm ready for it.
yeah,
And the
100%.
moment I worry about it is the moment I'm not in alignment with the universe. And the moment I'm not in alignment with the universe is the moment that something is out of sync. So then you have
Yeah,
to constantly, you have to get in sync. Because if something is like, if something is throwing me out of sync and I'm like, oh, well, I don't have enough money. Okay, yeah, you do. You're thinking 2 weeks ahead. Why are you worried about something that has not and will not happen? Be in the
yeah,
now, be in the here. Don't worry about something that you are creating as a bad idea because you're just creating it out of lack.
yeah.
Ooh, van
Okay, let's
life
take
for
a
three and a
one.
half years. Ooh,
KK, exactly. My parents keep asking why I'm always moving on my days off. I find
yeah,
something
same.
to do. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm
why
always
should
going
you?
somewhere.
Yes, why should you stay in one spot and not live your life? Live your life. Like that's
Yeah.
that's why we have it. Taiwan said, Emery L, I can't help to say I love how the light shines with you. Thank you, Taiwan. KK, same with rewiring. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
every action. So whenever I was first learning how to change my diet, one of the things that I learned that was gigantically powerful was every bite that you take is either feeding your disease or
Right.
fighting it. Because I have an inflammatory illness. So if I eat things that are inflammatory or even just stuff that my body doesn't agree with, I can put myself back in the hospital. So that's something powerfully that I learned. But that doesn't just apply to food, because everything that you do is either promoting your progress or causing your digress.
Yeah.
You're either going forward or you're going backwards. You're not going to stay in the exact same place forever, no matter what. You're going to age. You're going to progress in some manner. It's either going to be forward or it's going to be repeating the same stuff over and over
Right.
again.
Yeah. Well, for instance, like I'm working on my relationship to food. The
Mm-hmm.
easiest thing for me to do is work on my relationship to my body. I'm not worried about the food just yet, but what I have been doing is walking more, walking to the gym. Like my gym is like a mile and a half, mile and a quarter away. And if all I do is go to the gym for 20 or 30 minutes, I will have actually done an hour session because it takes me 25 minutes to walk there. It takes me 25 minutes to walk back. And no matter what I do at the gym, it really doesn't matter because it's that journey. But it's also showing me that I can move my body. I can treat my body differently. And it's an ease, so nice. Like I bought a headlamp and everything, and I go, like I'm probably gonna go after this, but like it just, it feels so good. Like even if it's cold at night and even if it's dark, it's like at least I'm doing something, at least I'm moving, I'm showing my body that I love it, that I think it's worthy, and i'm I'm energizing myself and allowing myself to feel healthier little by little, and I've been doing it for almost 2 weeks and I already feel a difference.
Yeah. And
It's amazing.
there because it physically alters your body to make small changes like that, and
Yeah,
your body thrives whenever it moves and is not in a stagnant place. Our bodies are meant to move. That's why we have joints, and that's why we can do this. It's meant to move.
yeah.
But
Taiwan.
there, let's see. Thank
You,
you both for sharing. I enjoyed it. I'm going to get off here. Much love. Ah, thanks, Taiwan. Thank
much
you for
love. Have a
spending
good
this
day.
time with
Have a good
us.
evening.
Yes, fantastic. Kurt, I did van life for 3.5 years. Yes, it was I say this about many things, but it was the best decision I ever made because it changed my life and the way that I view things. And now I know 100%, it doesn't matter what happens. It does not matter what happens. I am okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
you're always taken care of.
Yep,
We're always taken
everything will
care
be
of.
fine.
Right.
Yeah,
We're the
it
one
doesn't
that
matter.
puts a wrench in the works and goes, "Oh no, I have to worry about the tangible stuff or I have to worry about money." No, you already have the money. You have everything that you need.
Yep.
We're the ones that think that like the world says I have to be productive. Who says you're not productive? You are saying you're not productive because you think that your version of productivity has to match the world's, or your version of life has to match what other people do. You're not the world. You're not everybody else. You do what feels right for you. And a van life you know, or something you're doing doesn't match the productivity level of the other human race, well, that's them. That's the way they're supposed to do things. Maybe they're stuck in some sort of loop. What you're doing, oh, after your
Same
divorce,
for,
you found nice. I've
yeah,
never
same.
been married. I'm still trying to find myself though.
I was married for a long time, and same. I'm still finding myself. I'm still digging and finding pieces of myself
Right.
that are interesting, and things that I never even considered before. And we do continuously. It's called evolution.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks that you cannot grow, or that you or have reached the point where you can't learn anything else is just blocking themselves. They're afraid of something, or they're closing their eyes to something. No, because you constantly learn. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
how old you are. You are constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly evolving, unless you refuse to do so. There's also something else that wanted to come up. Like, you were talking about your relationship to food,
Yeah.
and that's something that I struggled with before too. Is That's why I had so much inflammation in my body, was because of everything that I was allowing myself to eat. And I had not only that, but there was alcohol, and I had so many vices that I would turn to
Mm-hmm.
keep from having to deal with what was actually going on. And the way that I was actually able to resolve and overcome that is allowing myself to see why I wanted to binge eat all of this stuff, or why
Yeah.
I wanted to drink. Like, because there were things that I had gone through and things that were happening in my life that were hurting me, and I wasn't acknowledging them so I could
Right.
change it.
And it's just easier to keep yourself numb to it or numb to the change or whatever than actually have to deal with the change or deal with whatever's coming up. So we just do all these vices. It's like, okay, well, at least, the food won't hurt me. The food understands me. No, the food doesn't give a crap about you. It's your relationship to the food that's affecting you. It's your relationship to alcohol, to any vice. That's what's really affecting you. If you changed your relationship and understood that what is coming through is for you to change you, then your relationship with all these other things would change.
Yeah.
But we all want to sit there and go, no, it's too much, too much. Well, how much is too much?
Yeah.
Your too much is way different from somebody else's too much.
Yeah, like that looks like it's going to be a lot of work. I don't know what it looks like. I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm doing. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
the first, second, or 12th step is.
That's too hard. It's too
Yes, it's
hard, and I
going
don't
to
want
be
to
too
do that.
difficult.
Like, oh man, like,
I'm going to have to invest.
right. That's another year and a half of my life. Okay, you've already set, like, now you're setting a benchmark. Instead of thinking that's so much, think, okay, next step. What do I have to do? Let go of
Yes.
something? Cool. Let go of a relationship to food? Okay, now what's really going to come through?
Yeah.
And you're not making it harder by making yourself numb. You're making it easier because this stuff isn't trying to force it into your psyche. It's flowing easily.
Yeah. And the time is going to pass anyways.
Yeah.
Next year is going to come. Where are you going to be whenever it arrives? And are you
Exactly.
still going to be saying the same things like, I don't want to because it's going to take time to do it? Well, guess what? You said that a year ago and you're still saying it because,
Right. Time is
okay,
still passing, and
the
you're
time
nowhere
is
near where you wanted to be because you said, "Oh, I'll do it later."
100%.
Right.
And later is no. Later is
Right.
recurring. It's always going to be later.
Yeah,
Let's see.
it's always going to be tomorrow. It'll always be 2 weeks from now. It'll always be a benchmark that if you keep moving the benchmark, it's always you can just keep moving it because it's easy. But to really deal with it, that's the hard part. And if you
Mhm.
finally decide I need to deal with this effectively, and you sit there and you realize, oh, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard at all. I just had to actually do this thing. I had to deal with it, and I'm okay, and I will continue to be okay, and it's not that hard. Why did I keep moving it? Why did I keep putting it off?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
mm,
And the most powerful way that I have found to make progress is just focus on what's going on right now.
yeah.
Don't worry about what happened and don't worry about what's going to happen. What can you do right now in this moment, even if it's one tiny little teeny tiny thing, and that's literally all you can do? Just do it and move on to the next thing whenever the next thing is able to be moved on to. Like, don't
Mm,
even worry about it. You're just going to stress yourself out and then you're going to stop making progress because you don't want to do it.
right.
Kurt says, sobriety 8 years and down 113 pounds naturally. That's beautiful. You know
Ooh,
what?
congrats, man.
Yes, there's so many things. There's so many things that come with that. People offer me all the time. People offer to buy me a drink, like, all of this stuff. And sometimes, really, I am a very high vibrational person. So I like to dance and I like to move around and I've always got energy and I'm always rocking or something. And it's simply because there's been so much healing that I have such high, beautiful, feel good energy that I don't want to sit still. And people, offer to buy me drinks and stuff like that. And I really don't need it because now the way that life is after all of this healing and understanding and recognizing, I feel fantastic on nothing at all. Don't need to drink to socialize. Don't need to drink to have a good time.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And it feels better now to not need anything like that than it did whenever I was doing it because there's so much crumb that comes with it when you're doing it. Not only you're destroying yourself.
Yeah, it's not worth it either. Like, you're putting aside your connection for something that's trying to lower your vibration.
Yep. Yep. 100%. Oh, my computer just went off. Okay, Kurt said, got to get to the root problems. Yeah, because, yep, exactly. If I would have continued my course, I would be dead. Yeah, same. But that's how it goes.
I get high off the music and energy. Yeah,
Yes.
same thing. Like I get high off like leading meditations and sound baths and like finding new people to work with. Like it's fun.
100%.
I get high off going on walks.
Yeah, I have been to many of Matt's sound baths and personal meditations, and it literally does. Like it gives me, I become fuzzy bunny energy in that space. Like it is an actual energy that you tap into, and I just get so snuggly. And that, people take drugs and narcotics and stuff to experience that
to
level
get that
of
same place.
Yes, that level of grounding and that level of like body high and mental high, and where you can, go off to another place and, get out of your mind. People take drugs to get there, but there are things that you can do that are not detrimental to your health.
Yeah, definitely. And it's fun because I go through the same thing that I lead people through. Like leading a meditation, I close my eyes too, and I visualize what I'm telling people to visualize, and I'm there with them, and it makes it so much better for me. Like I'm healing myself as much as I'm leading other people through something cool.
Yeah. Edgar, he's just giving love and smiles. Kurt, once you choose to, everything is easy. That's it. Hey, yes.
Oh,
you
true.
have to decide that you actually want it. If you don't want it, there's going to be nothing. There's going to be no progress because you're not going to care about doing it. Yeah, 100%. This is fantastic. Let's see. Okay, we have a bunch of people who have given love but haven't made any comments. So I'm going to do.
What happened?
Katrina, my mama's.
Aww.
My mom gave some love. Katrina, KK, Luigi, Therese, Travis, Orhan, Taiwan, Taranga, Muhammad, Miguel, Atheth, Matt, Mark, Freddie, Kurt, Edgar, Sharafat, Jesse, Yassine, and Mohinder. Those are all the people who showed some level of love or like or care, even if you didn't comment. Yeah.
Thank you guys. I appreciate all of you.
100%.
This is such an amazing thing to do on a new moon as well. Like just having community and a talk and expressing yourself and allowing everybody to express themselves to us. It feels good.
It is. It's beautiful to connect with other people and just talk about things because we all go through stuff, and there's a lot of times in life, especially before you're able to build a community of people that are like-minded with you. Like we go through stuff in the dark that we don't ever talk about out loud or have someone to talk about. And stuff like this allows for ideas to be presented to people who, just need to hear something new or witness another person having a different perspective or, what have you, being able to learn something new or connect with someone who not only has been through something that you've been through or maybe has advice for something that you're just now embarking on, what have you. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
This has been fantastic.
And sometimes the stuff that's in our brains are kind of scary to get out there. So just expressing it makes it less scary.
Yep, 100%. And there are people, no matter what you are going through and no matter what you have been through, there are people who understand. and there are people who can connect and relate to that thing that you're going through. You are
yeah.
not alone.
You never are alone.
No.
You're always there's always somebody that's there to listen, that's there to understand. And if even nobody really understands, like, you know, nobody will judge you for something that you're saying or something that you're expressing. And if they do, they're the wrong person, or they're going through it themselves and they're just trying to pass the buck.
Yeah, and you don't have to take everything that somebody says to you to heart or personally. Like you're going to encounter people that are going through their own stuff, and just because they say something to you that doesn't feel good, like you do not have to take that to heart. You
Yeah,
don't have
true.
to continue listening. You don't have to, say, like, you're a terrible person. I'm never going to speak to you again because you're having a hard time and you're taking it out on me. You don't
Right.
have to go that far, but you can just simply not take it to heart and understand that someone is going through crap. You go through crap. Everybody does. It's
Now,
just,
if they keep going through crap and keep putting you through that, then it's easier to walk away from them.
yeah.
Like there's a time
Um,
and a place, and like if you keep asserting a boundary and saying, I get that you're going through a lot, and I would respectfully tell you not to put me down or not to say this. And if they keep doing that, that's where you just say, you know what? I've told you many times, I've been respectful. I have to walk away. I have to save my own energy because you're dragging me through a place that I really don't want to be.
Yeah, 100%. It is always okay for you to choose another option or go a
Choose
different
yourself.
route. Yep, exactly.
Always choose
Yep,
yourself. You
yep,
come first.
yep, yeah, 100%. If you don't, self-care is the biggest thing that I promote. Literally, there's many people who come to me with problems or questions or what have you, and most often the very first thing that I will recommend is something to do with self-care. Oh, this person is, you're not having a good situation with this person. What can you do for yourself that's going to heal that? Or how can you take care of
Right.
yourself? Or are you trying to give too much to a situation when you don't have anything to give? Are you depleting yourself? Because others, no, others do not drain us. We allow ourselves to be drained. No one can
Yes.
drain you unless you allow it. No one can hurt you unless you allow it. No one can do anything to you. You are the creator. You are the controller. You are the enforcer. You are the director. You are the actor in your movie. You get to decide everything that goes on. And the very first thing that you should be thinking about is how well you're taking care of yourself, because that's going to
Mm-hmm.
showcase everything else.
Yeah.
If
It
everyone
showed that.
around you, if everyone around you is being a jerk today, maybe you should go take 5 minutes in the bathroom.
Right. Right. Spend a little
And see how
time
you
like
feel.
woosahing in the bathroom and
Yes.
just allowing yourself to relax.
Yes. Goodness.
And realize that maybe it's a day, maybe it's an extra critical day, maybe it's a day to just relax, be on your own, and not deal with a lot of like what's going on. Maybe you
Yep.
haven't filled up your cup enough.
100%. Yep. Mm. Yeah, this has been great. I feel it winding down. Not that we
Same.
couldn't continue talking about all sorts of stuff.
All the things in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that it would just be
Night,
fantastic to do
Edgar.
it again at another point, and just kind of share our conversations. Just we already, as healers, as mentors, as we both own our own companies, Like we,
Right.
you know, we have conversations about all sorts of stuff all the time. So this was just a great opportunity to kind of just share thoughts and energy and perspective and experiences, and I have thoroughly enjoyed myself.
So have I. And like you know, I honestly didn't know what to expect tonight. And yesterday when I was like, I want to do something for the new moon, you're like, I'm already doing something. Okay. Like, you know, for those of you who are tuning in, like I wasn't supposed to be on this, but I wanted to do a meditation or something. And I had told her about it, and she's like, okay, well, I'm going to do something. So do you want to do something with me? And this just like, it doesn't matter, the meditation doesn't matter, because we've like, this has been a really informative, enlightening conversation, and
Yeah.
I think has helped a whole bunch of people, and it seems like like everybody here has been really into it, and I feel like my duty is served for the evening, you know.
Right. And same, like I normally, whenever I go live, like I just love to connect with people. And one of my bases for my business and, you know, the sessions and gifts that I have is energy healing, and, you know, just teaching people about energy and connecting and showing you how you can increase and clear the
Hmm.
energy within yourself. And that is not what tonight was even meant to be about, because
Yeah.
this conversation was so full of real ingredients.
Yeah, it felt really good. Like it felt like it was needed, and
Yes,
directed by the universe. Like we
100%.
both had no idea what we were really gonna do. I mean, we had a conversation before this, like, hey, what are we gonna talk about? I don't know. Like whatever just comes up, right?
Yep.
And so far, like we've been on for 2 hours, and it's
Yeah.
been a full length conversation with each other, with everybody on there, and we've been able to express ourselves and our energy fully, and it feels really good.
Fantastic. Miguel, well done, both you gorgeous souls.
Thank you.
Edgar, yes. Goodbye, guys. I had a super transmission. Many thanks. Have a happy night. I am very happy that anybody got anything at all from this, and I'm super
Yes.
excited.
Oh
This
my
just makes me
gosh.
feel so good.
Yeah.
Would love to join in sometime. We we we're talking about going live again. So we always have comments and what have you. This is new. This isn't really something that we've been doing. We're just
It just kind
figuring
of
it out.
happened out of an idea of like, let's try
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Kurt says, thank you guys. You're both wonderful, and the energy was fantastic. Love and blessings. Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate it.
This has been great. I'm a fan.
I, I love it. I just I love being able to do stuff like this. Just talk, and you know, we've had like, you know, at least 10 people in the room most of the time. I think it's down to 6, but like, yeah, it
Yeah.
feels good. It makes me feel like I'm doing something worthwhile.
Right. Yeah. And stuff like this, like you can have lived a full life and have been through many experiences, but whenever you get to share that kind of stuff with someone else who very clearly benefits from it, that's power. That is
Yeah.
beauty. Like that is what you can consider that experience for, is to be able to give to somebody for them to then elevate or learn or view
Right.
differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this has been great. Okay,
That was a good
well,
mind meld.
yeah, 100%. And it 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 has caused expansion on many levels. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to just get off because we can just keep on going.
Yeah, it's like it's after 10. I should probably either go on a
Right.
walk or go to the gym and then eventually go to bed. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's been, thank you for allowing me to share your space and share the time. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for bringing it up and for following your guidance and your promptings, because if you hadn't have said something about it, this wouldn't have happened. So
Hey, and I didn't even realize, like, what's funny is, like, I didn't realize, it's not even funny, but I didn't realize that you were going to be doing something.
Mhm.
So when I called, it was completely out of the blue, and it was just guided to be like, I want to do something online.
Yeah.
So it
And
worked out.
also, thank you for being just such a good friend, because I am
Oh,
just,
thank you.
yeah, yeah. The universe blesses us in many ways, and some people think that abundance is just money, but it really is not just money. Like, abundance is the people that you have in your life and the experiences that you get to go through, and it's so much more.
Yeah,
So I'm happy with life.
life
I've
is
wanted to
good.
have dance parties.
I think we've all wanted to have dance parties at a specific point in time,
Who doesn't love a good dance party?
right?
Okay, all right. We're gonna keep on going. Okay. Um, Thank you everybody who
Thank
has come
you.
on here. Thank you,
I
Matt.
appreciate all of you. Thank you to everybody
Yes.
who's commented, who's loved, who's sent energy, who sent love, and allowing us to send love and information and s- spending time with us, just,
Yes.
on a random Tuesday night. So,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah. I'm so excited. There's 111 comments. Boom, boom, boom.
we did the good thing. We did
We did
amazing.
it.
So,
All
right
right,
on.
this is fantastic. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Matt. We
Thank you,
will
Emery.
do this again. Thank
We will
you,
do this
and
again soon.
yep,
All right.
we'll
Bye,
have
everybody.
more. We'll have more notice probably, since we know that this is something that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, cool.
All right.
Okay, yes, it's been beautiful. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, everybody.